Hi everybody, welcome back. In this episode we head out to Kenilworth, which is in behind the Sunshine Coast. We're going to take on a couple of little easy tracks just to test out Ray's new car. He's just bought this and we're going to see how well it goes before he does any modifications to it. So sit back and enjoy. Hi, it's Ray and Cole here again, the two old farts from the Muppets.
Yep, us again.
Yeah, us again, yeah. Now after our Simpson Desert trip, I hope you've watched that on the YouTube there. Yeah, Ray got inspired and has actually bought himself a four-wheel drive. Yeah, look at it there, yeah. What is it, Ray?
It's a Holden Trailblazer.
Holden Trailblazer, which is
basically an Isuzu.
Yeah, like the MUX.
Yeah.
So it's got all sorts of little things on it. It's got the hill descent control. It's got all sorts of other stuff.
Diffs and all that.
Yeah, it needs a lift yet.
Yep, needs a lift and a bull bar. Tow bar's going on Monday.
Yeah.
Then we'll play from there, see what's what.
So we're going to take it out for a little bit of a test run through the bush in behind Kenilworth, which is sort of in behind the Sunshine Coast. So yeah, come along for the ride.
Yeah, we're having a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Getting the car dirty. As you can see, we've already been doing a bit. The car's got a nice layer of dust.
Yeah, excellent. Kenilworth is a lovely little town located a bit over half an hour inland from the Sunshine Coast. Lots of little things to do here and see here. There's shops galore and there's a famous bakery on the left hand here. It's so popular now they actually have a savoury bakery and then the 1 kilo donut, which the place is well known for. If you can get through that 1 kilo donut, you're doing well. But we're going to head out of town and into the tracks just in behind the town. Not far south of the town is the entry to Balloomba Creek camping areas. Head out on the little road for a while until you come across the first couple of water crossings. Been really dry lately and that's about as low as I've ever seen that water. These particular water crossings are usually flowing at least sort of axle deep right across here, but lately there's been very little rain, so yeah, it's been pretty dry. After here we start to head up this long, reasonably steep sort of hill. It gets a little bit rutted further up, but it's rather narrow. There's a big drop off to the left hand side there, and of course a big ridge up on the right hand side, and this track just winds its way up the side of this slope. It's a bit narrow in a few places. Occasionally you've got to stop and give way to oncoming traffic, and trying to find a little place to pull in can be a bit difficult. Yeah, here we come. I'm going to have to pull over here and just let this guy get past. As you can see, the road does get a little bit rutted in places. Just straddle those ruts, quite easy to get over and keep on going. We actually came down this hill in a huge thunderstorm one time when those ruts were actually formed, and that was a bit challenging because you couldn't see barely in front of you. But yeah, I don't think it's rained since then. The road keeps winding uphill, goes uphill for quite some time, doesn't seem to stop at times, but the scenery changes all the time. So one minute you're in dry sclerophyll forest, then you start to get into these palms and almost rainforest sections. Here's another little creek there that is usually just flowing over that causeway just a little bit, but it's certainly down below it now. We're driving through a section of actual state forest They do maintain this road occasionally, but it gets a little bit rough in times. But it's not much different to what it was 40 years ago when I used to drive this track in my old HZ Holden station wagon. It certainly wasn't four-wheel drive, and we didn't need four-wheel drive today. But their way of maintaining it is to put gates across the roads, and when it gets a little bit treacherous, they'll come up and actually shut these gates. So just be prepared for that. If you're coming up in wet weather, it's supposed to be a dry weather road only, and yes, occasionally they will shut those gates. So here we're coming up on Sunday Creek Road, and I'm going to turn right here to head back towards Kenilworth. If we turn left, we'll end up at Jimna, and we can come back through Kilcoy, but it's actually just a through thoroughfare dirt road. Nice drive though. So far we've just been driving along on dirt roads, so you should theoretically be able to access this with any two-wheel drive vehicle. So we're going to go and look for something a little bit more challenging so we can actually trial out the four-wheel drive aspect of Ray's car. So we managed to find this little side track that wasn't fenced off, one of the few I suppose. We took off up here. Now I had to be fairly careful. Ray doesn't have any recovery gear on the car as yet, so there's no points that I can hook up a winch to or a snatch strap even, so I had to be fairly careful with what we took on. But this little track had a few little rises here, a few ruts and a few little challenges, and we let Ray come up here to start with, just to let him trial this car. So here he comes now. Yeah, you might hear a bit of a clunk here as he bottoms out on one of those wee boys. So he's getting that fixed eventually. He'll be putting a 2-inch lift on it. Bull bar's going on shortly, tow bar, and it'll have the recovery points on there as well. But it's actually done quite well so far. We can see a few spots of rain on the windscreen there, and that's always a bit of a worry when you're out on the tracks. An easy track like this one can soon turn into a difficult track with an addition of a little bit of water in it. Get that mud on the top and you can end up sort of being a passenger all the way down a hill. From here we headed out back towards the main road, past the viewpoint here. Lovely view over the ranges there and all the forestry areas as well. But this heads us down in towards the camping area called Charlie Morland's Campground. Very popular spot. There's camping on either side of the road. So here we are coming in through the campground. A little bit of bitumen road for a few seconds. But yeah, big open areas on the right, big open areas on the left hand side there. Come down here a little bit, there's actually a big day use area. And then we come to the causeway that crosses over, I think it's Yabba Creek here. And as we go over Yabba Creek, we find there's actually a big swimming hole off to the left hand side. Lovely crystal clear water, quite deep. And yeah, very popular spot during the summertime for swimming. That's just up there on the left. Beautiful spot. But we're going to head straight out along this road here, which is still on Sunday Creek Road, and we're going to head out to the main bitumen road and actually turn back towards Kenilworth. And then we're going to take another little forestry trail up on the left hand side here shortly. So this is the main road that comes through from Mullaney, which is up towards your right there, and Kenilworth, which is just up towards the left. And this is a little windy section of road, very popular with motorbikes. It's a 60 km/h speed limit along here because there are lots of motorbikes. We've nearly taken the head off a motorbike rider that came around very close to the corner there one time and had his head well over our line. But just about a kilometre up the road here, we're going to turn left up into the forestry again. So this is all pine forest. They harvest these trees every so often. They do maintain a few of these roads, but they can be a little bit rough and ready at times. These big weir boys here as we go over. This road can get very slippery in the wet. Especially this little bit here, it turns to gravel and rocks and all sorts of things further up. And then this road will turn north and go right behind the town of Kenilworth and actually comes out the other side. Now if you're precious about your car and you're worried about lantana, on the Sunshine Coast and all the hinterland areas here, lantana grows quite thick. And yeah, it's not uncommon to hear that squeal all the way down the side of your cars. You've either got to worry about it or start a collection and wear it as a badge of pride. If you're worried about it, you can get wraps that go around the side of your car to stop it. But look, I just occasionally, maybe once every couple of years, I might give the car a polish. And that'll generally sort it out enough anyway. You have to remember that tracks are two-way, and you will occasionally meet somebody coming the other way. One of you has got to move over, or probably both of us, and I'm going to have to go into the lantana here a little bit. I'm not getting out to cut it off. Just drive past. I'll polish it later on. So this track follows along the ridge line. It'll head north and go right behind the town of Kenilworth. There are a few turns here and there. Stick to the main roads most of the time and we'll get all the way through, the main tracks rather. But eventually you might want to sort of take off on one of the side tracks. Some of the really good tracks are actually fenced off. They've been doing that a lot lately, which is a real shame. But we'll find one of the little side tracks shortly and we're going to take off on that one. So we're coming up on this little track here. It follows actually along the fence line behind one of the private properties here. It's a fun little track. Again, we'd class this as easy, but in the wet it could end up being a little bit difficult. Some good little descents and a couple of little tiny climbs, a couple of tight bends here and there. Good fun little track for trialling out Ray's car though. I'm going to drive it first, he'll follow me, and then we're actually going to loop round later on and actually come back and let him drive in front, and I'll just follow along and see how he goes. But yeah, nice, interesting little track this one. Nearly back onto the main track. As we hit that, we're going to turn back and go back to that start of that little track and give Ray a go up front. Yeah, as we can see, Ray's car's doing really well. It's on standard all-terrain tyres. It's straight off the factory floor type thing. It's a few years old, but hey, that's alright. And it's doing quite a good job at these tracks. A little bit more clearance will help. A bit of a lift. And that'll make this car pretty awesome. He's getting a few other bits and pieces added to it. He's getting a bull bar, tow bar, recovery points, which are essential. And yeah, it's going to be well worthwhile because he's going to have a lot of fun in this car. And hopefully we'll see it on some more videos shortly. that's it for that trip. It's time to air up again.
Well, we've been playing in the scrub. And
Yeah.
we've been having a ball. Got some dust on the car properly.
Yeah, let's have a look. Oh yeah. Yeah, a little bit of dust, no mud. It's been as dry as lately, so yeah, no water crossings, no mud, not even any puddles really. No.
But it was good fun and a good chance for me to learn what my car can do. And I've not driven a four-wheel drive before our desert trip, so I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, so that was excellent fun.
Good fun, yeah.
So
you go home and watch the car now.
So if you've thought this was informative, a bit of fun, or helpful in any way, please hit the subscribe button. That way, maybe that way. I don't know.
Wherever it is.
Wherever it is, you'll
subscribe,
find it.
like, tell your friends about us. Wonderful.
Excellent. See you guys.
Bye.
Puppy, Nanny Rose is going to go and drive through Nolan's. That's how you do Nolan's. Doing it for the nanas.